We'll come to order. Mr. Carpenter, please call the roll.
Senators Bridges, Cook, Quorum, Crowder, Danielson, Donovan, Finberg, Fields, Foote, Gardner, Janal, Gonzalez, Hanson, Hill, Heisey, Holbert, Lee, Lundeen, Marble, Moreno, Pedersen,
Excused.
Priola, Rankin, Rodriguez, Scott, Smallwood, Sonnenberg, Story,
Absent.
Tate, Todd, Williams,
Excused.
Winter, Woodward, Zenzinger,
Where's the engine? The Senate will stand in recess. Senate will come back to order. Mr. Carpenter.
Story. Mr. President.
Here. With 33 present, 0 absent, 2 excused, we have a quorum. Senator Foote, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Please join me, members and guests, for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the Journal. Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the reading of the Journal for Tuesday, January 28th, be dispensed with and the Journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Senate Services.
Correctly printed, Senate Bill 15151, correctly engrossed Senate Bill 22548, correctly re-engrossed Senate Bill 3462, 63, 69, and 71.
Third reading of bills consent calendar. Mr. Carpenter, will you please read the titles to all the bills listed on the consent calendar?
Senate Bill 2 by Senators Donovan and Corman, Representative McLaughlin, concerning the creation of the Rural Economic Development Initiative Grant Program. Senate Bill 25 by Senator Garcia and Representative Monteo and Escar, concerning authorization of the Board of Directors of a Conservancy District to participate in certain projects within the district in connection therewith, authorizing such a board to consider such participation at current expense of the district. Senate Bill 48 by Senators Donovan and Corman, Representatives Roberts and Catlin, concerning a study to consider the strengthening of the prohibition of speculative appropriations of water.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the passage of all the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar, which includes Senate Bills 2, 25, and 48.
Is there any discussion on any of the bills? Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request be a no vote on Senate Bill 2, please.
Senator Hill will be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 2. Mr. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 2 and 25.
The Minority Leader will be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 2 and Senate Bill 25. Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request to be Listed as a no vote on Senate Bill 2 and Senate Bill 25.
Senator Smallwood will be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 2 and Senate Bill 25. Senator Lundin.
Good morning, Mr. President. Thank you. I request to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 20002 and 20025.
Senator Lundin will be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 2 and Senate Bill 25. Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to be recorded a no vote on Senate Bill 25.
Senator Cook will be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 25. Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request to be recorded as no vote on Senate Bill 2 and Senate Bill 25.
Senator Gardner will be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 2 and Senate Bill 25. Senator Marble.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 2 and Senate Bill 25.
Senator Marble will be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 2 and Senate Bill 25. Senator Woodward.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 025.
Senator Woodward will be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 25. With a vote of 27 ayes, 6 no votes, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 2 is passed. Co-sponsors: Senators Moreno, Winter, Gonzalez, Danielson, the Majority Leader, Rodriguez, Bridges, Story, Sonnenberg, Tate, Rankin, Lee, Todd, Fields, Crowder, with a vote of 26 ayes, 7 no votes, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 25 is passed. Co-sponsors: Senators Janal, Lee, Moreno, Gonzalez, Danielson, with a vote of 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 48 is passed. Co-sponsors: Senators Moreno, Bridges, Heisey, Gonzalez, Fields, Tate, Hill, Crowder, Lee, General Order, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Danielson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of general orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar, and Senator Danielson will take the chair.
The committee will come back to order. The court rule is relaxed for everyone in the Senate chamber. Mr. Carpenter, please read the titles to all the bills on the general order second reading of bills consent calendar.
Senate Bill 17 by Senator Winter and Representative Gray concerning requirement that the high performance transportation enterprise include information about its public-private partnerships in its annual report to the legislative committees of the House of Representatives and the Senate that have jurisdiction over transportation. Senate Bill 11 by Senators Heisey and Winter and Representatives Catlin and Valdez D concerning permanent authorization for third-party providers to perform vehicle identification number verification inspections for commercial vehicles.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the adoption of all the bills on the consent calendar and their associated committee reports, which includes Senate Bill 17, along with the Transportation and Energy Committee report, and Senate Bill 11.
Is there any discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the Transportation and Energy Committee report. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The committee report is adopted. Is there any discussion on any of the bills? Mr. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Relative to Senate Bill 11, I want to thank the sponsors for bringing the bill, and I will be voting yes. But if you'll notice on page 4, the bill does incorporate the safety clause. And I note that one of the groups here in Colorado that often rates bills has asked for, encouraged a no vote, and I suspect it is because the safety clause is being used in this bill. I think it's appropriate to use the safety clause in this bill. I'm not asking for an amendment, don't have an amendment to offer to change that. I think in this case, it has led to confusion and unnecessary stress among many constituents when the safety clause is used. And I think in a lot of state legislatures, there wouldn't be a choice. We are unusual in Colorado in that we allow the legislature to use either the safety clause or the petition clause. And in this case, I think the safety clause is absolutely appropriate. Why? Because this continues an existing program. And I think where people get confused about the petition clause is they think, some people incorrectly think that if the petition clause is not used and the safety clause is used, that the people lose their ability to petition and strike down an existing law, and that is not accurate. If the petition clause were used, then people could pull a petition and put this bill on hold, its implementation, and then gather signatures, and then if they gather enough signatures, it would go on a future ballot. But in this case, if anyone wanted to repeal the underlying program, they could still pull a petition and repeal that. They don't need our permission with the petition clause to do it. And I would ask that rating group, one that I try to pay attention to their opinions, please reconsider the absolute prohibition of use of the safety clause, because in Senate Bill 11 it seems completely appropriate, and ask for an aye vote on the bill. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Is there further discussion on any of the bills on the consent calendar? Seeing none, the question before the body is the adoption of all the bills on the consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The bills are adopted. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion before the committee is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come back to order. Senator Danielson.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had 2 bills under consideration. Mr. Carpenter, please read the report.
Mr. President, your committee will lead reports that considers and following text bills being second read, makes following recommendation to roll on Senate Bill 17 as amended, Senate Bill 11 passed second read order, gross place counter for the reading and final passage.
Senator Danielson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the committee adopt the report.
The motion before the body is the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 2 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 017 as amended, Senate Bill 011 passed on second reading, order engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Announcements. Committee reports.
January 28th, 2020, Committee on Finance. After consideration, Mayor's Committee recommends following Senate Bill 57 be referred favorably. Committee on Appropriations.
Announcements. Senator Todd.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, colleagues. First and foremost, I have a great announcement to make, and that is that yesterday, Senator Hansen and I went to visit our colleague, Senator Court, and she was so excited. She showed us a video of her walking with the use of a walker, and that was the first time she had done that yesterday morning. And so we are celebrating that major, major accomplishment in her health and rejoicing. She is so appreciative of all of you reaching out, sending cards and emails and flowers, and she's really in better spirits than she has been since New Year's Eve. So it is exciting, and I just wanted to share that with everyone. So that's my first announcement. And Mr. President, we are also very excited to entertain and welcome the Community College Day at the Capitol. And with us today, and I know I can't say them by name, but I am going to say the schools so that you can make sure that you venture over and meet them. Half of them are in the Senate and half are in the House. And so I think our director, Joe Garcia, I believe is in the House. And so we are represented by board members from District 4, District 7, the Vice Chancellor, Chief Strategy Officer, the Chancellor of Academic and Student Affairs, the Foundation Executive Director, the Associate Vice Chancellor, Workforce Partnership and Development, the SSAC Advisor, the President Community College of Aurora, the President of Northeastern Junior College, President of Pikes Peak Community College, the President of Pueblo Community College, the President of Front Range Community College, the State Student Advisory Council, Community College of Denver, the State Student Advisor Council of the Front Range Community College, and the State Student Advisory Council, Pikes Peak Community College, and the State Student Advisory Council from Arapahoe Community College. And there is a lunch today at the First Baptist Church. I encourage you to go and meet with these wonderful leaders that are providing great opportunities for so many of our students here in Colorado. And thank you for all of your work and your leadership. And it is wonderful to have you with us today.
Senator Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President. The time has come for the merging of the legislative branch with the judicial branch. You all will have an opportunity to hear Supreme Court Justice Gabriel talk about the Colorado courts. I urge you to do so today. Lunch served 12 o'clock in the old Supreme Court. You know, a critical issue, Senator Gardner and I have been a little bit flippant about this, but it's really important to understand how the justices review legislation that comes to them. They ultimately determine if the work that we perform over here is in accordance with the Colorado Constitution, and they will talk, I'm sure, today about the judicial review process, the importance of witness testimony, the importance of talking about the reasons behind a bill, because those are considerations that go into statutory interpretation by the Supreme Court. So it would be helpful to you, for you to understand their thought processes. So you are cordially invited to join the Supreme Court.
Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, first of all, I take exception to my colleague from El Paso County. I'm not flippant at all, having appeared before the Colorado Supreme Court for oral argument this past session successfully. It is important, and let me tell you that the matter that I argued had to do with the interpretation of a ballot initiative that was brought by the people of Colorado, and what did that exactly mean? And this is something that our appellate courts do every day, in essence, look at the things that we do and say, and this may be a little flippant, what the heck did they mean? That's an important process, to read the words that we put on paper here and sign and send to the first floor. Come and learn about that. Come and have lunch. Noon, Old Supreme Court Chambers.
Thank you.
Senator Phillips.
Good morning, Mr. President. I would like to request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Members, I would like to add to the comments that were made by my good colleague from Arapahoe County as she introduced the members that are here from the Colorado Community College system. I'm so proud to be in partnership with two community colleges that are in Arapahoe County. One would be the Community College of Aurora and also Arapahoe County Community College. I just want you to know that I'm so very proud of the work that you do, especially as it relates to concurrent enrollment. As you know, there's so many public school students that attend high school, and they're given the opportunity to attend a community college that will help them save money as they prepare themselves for either higher education or for some kind of certificate. So I just want you to know how important the work that you are doing across our state, because we have some young people who may not be interested at this point to go to a four-year institution. They might not be interested in going to CSU, CU, DU, or whatever. But the service that you are providing for our young people and for adults that are in transition, it is very significant to our economy, because you're giving them the certification and the qualifications that they need to further their own professional development. So I just wanted to say thank you for your leadership. Thank you for the role that you're playing as it relates to advancing education in the state of Colorado. Thank you.
Members, at the behest of calling this out to the good member from Arapahoe County and also to the good senator from Aurora, I just want to remind you, under the rules, we are allowed to introduce guests. It is SR 31F, but the individuals have to be recognized in accordance with statewide and significant accomplishments or members of academic athletic groups who have achieved significant goals. For those reasons, I will respectfully fine you each $1. Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, in furtherance of my principal functions here in the Colorado State Senate, which is making announcements and going to the State Affairs Committee meetings, I want to remind everyone, and you probably have already received this notice, but tomorrow, that is tomorrow, Thursday, January 30th, 11:30, over in the Services Building Conference Room, the Aerospace and Defense Caucus will be meeting. We will be discussing the U.S. Space Force, its basing here in Colorado, our efforts to ensure that it is based here in Colorado. That's tomorrow, 11:30, 6th floor across the street, Aerospace and Defense Caucus. This is a fun group to be associated with. They have all of the great trips on your own nickel, but great trips to watch things launch into the sky and into orbit. Tours over at Lockheed Martin to see phenomenal virtual reality things. So come and join us tomorrow at 11:30, 6th floor, Aerospace and Defense Caucus.
Senator Foote.
Thank you, Mr. President. State Affairs is meeting this afternoon. I look forward to seeing my good colleague from Colorado Springs, as well as 3 other wonderful bill sponsors at 1:30 in Senate room, conference room 357, which is our normal room. So we'll see you there at 1:30. Thank you.
Committee reports.
January 28th, 2020, Committee on Transportation and Energy After consideration Mayor's Committee following Senate Bill 36 be amended as follows. As submitted for the Committee Whole Affair recommendation to be placed on the consent calendar. January 28th, 2020, Committee on Transportation and Energy After consideration Mayor's Committee following Senate Bill 51 be amended as follows. As submitted for the Committee on Finance with a favorable recommendation January 28, 2020, Committee on Transportation and Energy, after consideration of mayor's committee following, Senate Bill 38 be amended as follows. As so many be referred to committee to hold a favorable recommendation January 28, 2020. The Committee on Transportation and Energy has had consideration and had hearing the following appointments. Recommends the appointments be placed on the consent calendar. Confirm members of the Colorado Aeronautical Board for terms expiring December 19, 2022. Kent Hugh Hollensinger of Walden, Colorado, to serve as a member of the Western Slope and who represents local governments which operates airports. Appointed. Amy K. Miller of Akron, Colorado, to serve as a member from the Eastern Slope who represents local governments which operate airports. Appointed. January 28, 2020. The Committee on Transportation and Energy has had consideration and had hearing the following points. Recommends the appointments to be confirmed. Members of the Colorado Energy Research Authority for terms expiring July 1st, 2023. William R. Torr, Boulder, Colorado. Appointed. Mark N. Cirangello of Lafayette, Colorado. Reappointed.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, we do have just a couple of things to read across later, so we will be recessing once again. You do not need to be here for that. Mr. President, I move the Senate recess until 11 a.m. today.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The Senate will stand in recess until 1100 hours today.